Tell me if this sounds familiar. You went out and bought an expensive scented candle, got home, lit it, and now you can't smell a thing. Frustrated, you blow it out after like 10 minutes. Then, a few days later, you decide to give it a second chance. But this time around, the wax just eats straight down the middle, while perfectly good wax sits around the edges doing absolutely nothing. If this is you, you've just created tunneling and wasted half of your wax. Why does this happen? Candles have memory. Wherever the wax melts to on that first burn is basically where it decides to stop melting for the rest of its life. If you blow it out too early, you're ruining it. So on that first burn, you want to let the wax melt all the way to the edges of the container before you put it out. The rule is roughly 1 hour per inch of diameter, meaning if you have a 3-inch candle, give it like 3 hours. Most quality candles will actually tell you this on the label, so check that. But if you've already tunneled a candle, all hope is not lost, so don't throw it out. Instead, wrap some aluminum foil around the top of the jar, leave it open at the top, and let it burn. The trapped heat melts that stubborn wax back towards the edges. You can also buy metal candle toppers that do the same thing. And if you have a deep tunnel, you might also need to scrape the wax down with a spoon while it's still melted to help level things out. Another crucial step to using a scented candle that you should never overlook is wick trimming. Before every single burn, not sometimes, but every time, trim the wick to about 1/4 inch, which is roughly 5 to 7 milliliters. A long wick makes a bigger flame than the candle was designed for, burns through your wax faster, and throws soot into the air. That's what causes those black marks inside the jar and sometimes on your ceiling. After burning, you'll notice a little carbon ball forming at the tip of the wick. That's called mushrooming. Let the candle cool, then just pinch it off gently with wick trimmers for it to come right off. And while the wax is still liquid after a burn, nudge the wick back to the center if it's drifted, because a wick leaning to one side overheats the glass unevenly, and you don't want that long term, do you? The recommended burn time of most scented candles is 4 hours max per session, but you can also do 2 to 3. Do not go beyond 4 hours though, because the wick mushrooms, the fragrance evaporates faster than it should, and everything overheats. And when you're done, let the candle cool for at least 2 hours before relighting it. If you relight before the wax fully solidifies, the wick can sink below the surface, and once it's buried, you're done. Also, when you get down to that last 5 millimeters of wax, stop burning it. The last bit protects the bottom of the container from overheating. One common mistake I used to make, like many people, was blowing out my candle. This is not advisable since it spatters hot wax, sends smoke into the room, and that burnt smell lingers. Instead, get a candle snuffer that you can just place over the flame when you want to put it out. Alternatively, you can also use a wick dipper. With this one, you just dip the wick into the wax to extinguish it, then lift it right back out. Now, you're probably wondering, why can't I smell my candle? It could be because of nose blindness, which is easy to fix. Just leave the room for a few minutes and walk back in. But if you have tried that and waited 30 minutes and you still can't smell it, it might be a quality issue. Most cheap candles are made of paraffin, which is a petroleum byproduct. If you burn such a candle regularly in a small, unventilated room, it releases VOCs, including trace benzene and toluene. But better options like soy, beeswax, and coconut wax burn significantly cleaner. Also, keep the lid on when you're not using it, away from direct sunlight and heat sources. And if you like lighting candles before bed, you have to use extreme caution. Candle fires are reported every single day in the United States. Most of them start because something flammable was too close to the flame.